What's up guys, it's Frozen Helm and welcome back to Fire Emblem, and took out Costas, I don't know how you say his name, the bandit leader in the Red Canyon. And today we're doing chapter 3 of the Blue Lion's Lunatic Mode playthrough. Oh boy, this is a chapter. So, before anything else, I'd like to apologize in advance if I sound unclear or quiet at times. That's because I have mouth sores. They just decided to just pop up and like, hey, your mouth is in pain now. So it hurts to talk sometimes, so I'm just trying to take it easy. I don't know if taking it easy is possible while playing the Fire Emblem game on the hardest difficulty, but you know, I'm gonna try. So yeah, sorry in advance. Anyways, I went through this entire month, and one thing that stood out to me was the practice battles. You can see it there, cleanup battle on the left. I did not know that the practice battles were buffed to lunatic mode, because the first practice battle you do is actually tied to a quest. So that's why, like, because the first practice battle you do, the enemies are all like level 3. And they have like 2 speed, and they're pathetic. So I was just like, okay, all the practice battles are going to be like this. Nope. And I should have known better because, you know, the first one was tied to a quest. All the other ones you can choose to do on your own. So it makes sense that the first one was like scripted. All the other ones are lunatic mode buffed. So I was pretty surprised when I went in the game and I saw level 7 thieves with 10 speed and they all had pass. And the map was full of forest tiles that they just love to just camp in. So yeah, that's a thing, and it sucked, and I had to restart a few times because I just couldn't hit them. Like it was just not, it just wasn't the thing I did. So yeah, but thankfully I think I've gotten my units up to a high enough level where I'm a little bit more confident in myself. I don't know, but they're all level 4 or higher, as you can see. I've also brought along Hilda, because you can bring along another student from another house once a month for this mission, and I'm probably going to choose to always bring Hilda, because I do want to recruit her. I've never recruited her before, and, well, outside the Golden Deer route, that is, because, you know, if you do Golden Deer, you'll just have her anyway. And she's really powerful, so I do want to bring her along, if possible. So yeah, there's that. And also, her personal skill is actually really good. Yeah, adjacent male allies deal 3 extra damage during combat. That is the difference between life and death sometimes, especially in early game. So this skill is huge. Especially if you're using like gauntlets or something. That is 6 extra damage. You do not want to pass that up. So anyway, enough of me rambling about that. Let's do first let's do certifications. I certified you. Anyone else? No. Okay. I didn't know that, well, I forgot that if you go in here with a unit that can be certified the first time, they give you like 5 of the items you need to certify them. See those beginner seals? I had 5 of them, and they gave me 5 more, and I used 2 of them to certify myself and certify to do. So I kind of bought 5 beginner seals earlier than I needed to, but you know what? That's okay. It's fine by me. Anyway, let's do not that. This one. Let's do supports first off. And there are a lot of them. I just saved them for the video because you guys might want to see them. I don't know.
Your Highness, the hour is late. May I ask where it is you're going?
I'm off to the library for a bit of research before I train. After that, a bath and bed.
Very well. I shall accompany you.
No. There's no need for that. I am a grown man, after all.
You sustained an injury during yesterday's training. My presence may be of use to you.
It was a mere bruise that will heal in no time. No need to fret over me, Dedu.
Are you dissatisfied with me, Your Highness? Please do not hesitate to correct me.
And there it is again.
Yes? What is it?
Well, you often choose to address me as Your Highness. When we first met, you used to call me by my name.
That was because I was unfamiliar with Fodlan's speech. Thinking back, such rude manners were inexcusable.
To be honest, I much preferred it. I feel more comfortable being addressed by my name, rather than with the honorifics that go along with being a prince.
But
I did not teach you to read and write so that you know how to address me properly.
And yeah, there it is. Dimitri taught Dedu how to read and write. So yeah, that partially explains why Dedu is his retainer, basically.
And I brought you to the academy as my friend, not a vassal.
But Your Highness, a vassal is precisely what I am.
So much has happened since we met, yet we cannot seem to bridge this gap. So be it. I give you leave to return to your quarters. Take an early night and reflect on what I've said. Please.
I couldn't possibly. I said I would accompany you, did I not?
True, but I would much prefer that we take steps to ease this mindset of yours.
Good morning, Your Highness. Getting in some early training, huh?
Oh, it's not too terribly early. And what about you?
Oh, I'm just going for my morning walk. Hey, maybe you'd like to join me. It's a great way to start the day.
A morning walk? Funny. Gustav always kept the same habit. You really do remind me of your father, Annette.
I hear that a lot. Father was always busy with work, so he wasn't around much. But when he was home, he'd often take me with him for his walks.
Annette, something's been weighing on me. Something I've done terribly wrong. Your father, he worked tirelessly. I don't know if I ever saw him take a rest. I feel as though, in a way, we stole him from you.
I'll admit, it was a bit lonely growing up. But I understand. Father loved his work. No one ever doubted that. Actually, I've been thinking recently that I'd like to talk to you more, Your Highness.
Oh? Any reason in particular?
Father was a man of few words, both with myself and my mother. But sometimes he would tell me about you. So, you don't really feel like a stranger to me. In a way, it's like I've known you for a long time. Almost as though you're my big brother.
Your big brother?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know why I let that slip out. That was rude of me.
No, nonsense. I promise you, I don't mind at all. It's certain that my days would have been filled with more fun if I'd had a little sister like you. What kind of things did Gustav tell you about me? I'd love to hear more on this topic.
Do you really want to know? Well, for one, he used to tell this story about when you were a child and...
You know what? Never mind. I have a bad feeling about where this is going. How about you forget we had this talk altogether? And don't mention it to anyone.
Yeah, Dimitri gets flustered like that sometimes when childish stories are involved. Oh wow, beast support already? Jeez. Okay.
Hi, Dedu. I wanted to thank you again for helping me out the other day. Everything was ready in time for dinner, and we all agreed the food was really tasty.
I barely did anything.
That's silly talk. With just a few ingredients, you made an amazing meal. I could never have done it, no way. You deserve all the praise in the world.
I still have much to learn. Truly delicious food brings a smile to people's faces. Until I see His Highness smile in that way, I will spare no effort to improve.
Well, if that's your aim, you're in luck. I've seen him shovel in your food with gusto. You must be really ambitious if you're not satisfied with that meal. I'd love for you to teach me your ways. I want to be a great cook too.
Your skills are not the problem. You merely make errors of negligence.
Well, sure, I know that. But how can I stop making those errors? No matter how hard I try, I always seem to mess things up. The pan explodes when I cook. I forget my purse when I go shopping. That's just how life is for a scatterbrain like me. Just the other day, I was nearly laughed off the training ground for wearing mismatched shoes. My uncle used to sigh in despair when he saw me messing something up.
You simply fail to pay attention to your surroundings. Ensure the pan is on the flame and that the knives are put away properly. Look at yourself in the mirror before you go out to make certain you have what you need. Everyone makes mistakes, but yours should be easy enough to correct.
That's all great advice. Thank you, Dedu. You really have a kind heart. At first I thought you were so stern all the time.
Am I that imposing?
Well, a bit. Maybe if you smiled sometimes. All you have to do is lift up the corners of your mouth. Like this. See?
I see. I will try it.
I must have left it in the library. Oh, is that Felix? Hey, Felix. This is a surprise. I didn't think you had much interest in books. I'm already finished with that one. You can borrow it if you'd like.
No need. I was just curious who it belonged to.
Why not read a few pages at least while you've got it open? I think you'd really like it. The plot is pretty different from a typical knight's tale, but it's still really good. Do you like stories about adventure and chivalry?
No, I despise them.
Yeah, well, have you tried reading any? You might find them really interesting. I know I do.
What do you find so interesting?
Well, for one thing, the knights in these stories are always gallant and brave, and they always value things like friendship, loyalty, and justice. That's the kind of knight I want to be.
Ridiculous. Friendship, loyalty, justice. Only fools allow their lives to be ruled by such nonsense.
Yeah, as you can see, Felix is the edgy type over here.
Fools who get themselves killed for nothing, only to be celebrated as heroes in books like this. Writers of these stories are worse than tyrants. They seize control of people's thoughts.
That's a little much. I was only interested in...
I don't care. Such blind enthusiasm is dangerous. Be more moderate in your passions.
You know something, Felix? You are exactly like the knight in this story.
Excuse me?
On the surface, he's sarcastic and intimidating, but underneath, he's kind and cares for his friends. In the end, they become heroes together and conquer all obstacles.
Disgusting. Stop looking at me like that.
Oh, see, right there. That's just what I mean. You sound exactly like him. I'm going to lend you this book. Really, I insist. Just give it a read, all right? Trust me, and you can tell me what you think when you're done.
Why is this happening?
Yeah, Felix is a character, and so is Ash. He is a character. They're both like... Ash is just like, so like, "Here, just have this." And Felix is just like, "I don't care." Oh my god. Felix is just so good. He's so good.
Today's dinner is steak and then a cake that's yummy yum. Now it's time to fill my tummy tummy tum. Oh, this mountain of sweets and treats that I long to eat. Oh, stacks of steaks and cakes and crumbs and yums.
I hope I'm not interrupting.
Felix, you weren't listening, were you?
I heard enough to know that you're hungry.
No, I mean, well, yes. At least tell me you didn't see the dance.
You have nice footwork. Get something to eat. I can take over watering the plants.
You're evil, Felix!
And you're shouting.
You can't just spy on people while they're singing without even saying anything. It's not right.
I actually did call out that I was coming in. It's not my fault you didn't hear.
Well, you need to speak louder then. Ugh, this is so embarrassing. And of course I was singing some silly food song I made up. I should have been singing about bears or swamp beasties.
I didn't realize there were songs about bears and swamp beasties. That food song seemed to be close to your heart. Your stomach isn't far from your heart, after all.
Oh, you are the worst!
Huh. What was that about? I better water these plants. Wouldn't want them to get thirsty, or they might start singing too.
He's so good. Like, seriously. I love how they wrote this guy.
Felix, there you are. I've been looking all over for you. Time for our tactics lecture. You'll be there, won't you?
Those things are such a waste of time.
Nonsense. You're going to be there.
Must I?
Why is this such a chore? You went last time, though you did all you could to disrupt things, as I recall. Brazenly rambling on about clear-cutting a nearby forest to secure a marching route, and attacking an enemy base, stealing their horses. You were incredibly disruptive, and even rude.
I was offering my honest opinion.
Then, you left before we were finished. What do you suppose happened after that?
I have no idea.
Well, the conversation got quite lively. We all began breaking down the viability of your somewhat maniacal plan. And apparently, similar tactics have been used to turn the tides of historic battles.
That may be an exaggeration. Successful armies must be able to handle unexpected situations. That starts with weapon mastery and creative tactics.
If you didn't have so much battlefield experience, you wouldn't be capable of such unique strategies. Which is why we need people like you. People who think creatively to lead the army.
Now you're just massaging my ego.
When have you ever minded? We need you there. Just come on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Ash. Are you here to study too?
I am. It's quiet here. Easier to concentrate.
It really is. Hey, would you like to study together? We can help each other out if we get stuck.
Oh, yes. We'll get a lot more done working together.
What's the matter, Ash?
This question's got me stumped. A ballista inside a castle is ready to fire at enemies outside. What angle should be used for the shot? Assume the ballista is the same as those in Garreg Mach. Ignore the effects of wind.
Interesting question.
This is for defensive strategy, isn't it? Why is it so complicated? Don't you just aim and fire?
It may help to focus on maximizing target accuracy to reduce your miss rate. To start, let's sort out the setup. Let's see. Using these ballista specifications, if the ballista corals follow this trajectory, they'll hit the enemy lines, right?
Oh, that makes sense. Because the enemy line will be here.
That's it! Okay, now try using that same technique and applying it to this other problem.
If the walls are this high and the enemy lines are at that distance... Oh, I think I see.
See, this is how you use math outside of school, guys. Well, wait, this is a
it.
school, I guess, so.
Wow, I didn't expect math of all things to be useful in a siege. This is tough. Numbers are not my strong suit, but this really is the sort of thing you have to know if you want to command troops.
That's true, but not everyone is good with numbers. That's why we have tacticians do these calculations for us, or prepare them before we go to battle. A century ago, the Empire's mathematicians played a huge role in the Battle of the Wall of Fodlan.
I had no idea. Hey, you really know what you're doing, Annette.
You think so?
Definitely. You've obviously done a lot of studying. I really admire that.
I suppose I have. Studying is a necessity if you want the advantage over your enemies. But necessity aside, it's nice to hear you say that.
Hey, Annette. Hitting the magic books again? Has anyone ever told you that you're pretty cute when you're studying?
Oh god, here we go.
Sorry, Sylvain, but I'm trying to think right now. Could you keep quiet for a bit?
How can you stay focused reading a book that thick? With such small print? Is some of that text upside down?
If I use the formula in this line here, the magical energy should... No, that's not right.
You're even cuter when you're working through a difficult problem.
Sylvain, I'm serious. Please be quiet.
Hang on. Look at the third line. You've got the formula wrong.
I said the... Oh, you're right. How did you know that?
Well, I mean, it's written right there.
Most people wouldn't be able to grasp this formula just by glancing at it. Have you read this book before?
Nope, this is the first time. Okay, now that I look at it, wow, this book makes things way more complicated than they need to be.
And what's your take on this part here?
It's just describing another application for the same formula. This is pretty easy.
You know, you're actually kind of amazing. I've been studying magic for a while now, but even I have trouble with this stuff. You act like all you do is mess around, but are you actually working really hard in secret?
Nah, hanging out with girls is way more fun. I guess I just picked this stuff up somewhere. Life is short, Annette. If you waste it working hard, it'll be over before you know it. Get out in the world. Have some fun.
That's easy for you to say. You're strong and smart without even trying. It's not fair. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be rude.
No, I was just thinking you're pretty cute when you're
Oh my
sulking.
god, stop!
What is wrong with you?
Hey, I just got lucky with that stuff in the book. I'd normally never be able to outsmart you. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here and leave you to it.
Got lucky, huh? I'm not so sure about that. Well, that does it. It might be tough, but I won't accept second place. Let's go, me. I can do this. I'm gonna finish this whole book before sundown. Whew. That shopping trip took longer than expected, didn't it, Mercy?
Oh yeah, the best friends pairing, Annette and Mercedes. They were best friends at the 30th School of Sorcery, so you'll be seeing that.
It truly did. You bought just about everything in the place. You're so good at deciding the best thing to buy. I sort of wanted it all. I mean, not that I was excessive. I think you bought just about as much as I did.
Oh, really? The number of bags you're carrying says otherwise.
She's not carrying anything.
What? That's... Oh, fine. You got me. I was just having too much fun. I love shopping with you, Mercy.
It was fun. It's nice going into town without having to run errands for once.
Isn't it? And I'm pretty confident the professor will forgive our little detour. This actually reminds me of going to school in Ferdiad.
Me too. It almost feels like that time in our lives was a story from long ago.
So much has changed since then. Oh, but there's at least one thing that hasn't changed.
Me and you, right? We're the same old friends we always were.
That's just what I was about to say.
I've known you so long I can always guess.
Mercy, we'll stay friends like this forever, won't we?
Is something wrong? You sound worried.
Since our time in the capital, so much has happened. We've had to make new lives for ourselves, and we've seen at least as many hard times as good. If things keep changing like this, I wonder if we'll be able to stay the same people we are now.
I wonder that too. I don't think everything in the future will be perfect, but it's us. So I'm sure
We'll figure it out together, right?
How did you know what I was going to say?
Oh, Mercy, I can always guess what you're gonna say.
Oh, it's getting late. We better hurry back before the professor gets angry.
You're right. Run, Mercy!
What? Wait for me, Annie. You know I'm not as fast as you.
Run! Hello, Ingrid. Can I have just a teeny tiny moment of your time?
Sure, I can spare a moment or two.
I was wondering, do you have any interest in fashion and makeup and stuff like that?
I haven't the time to bother with such frivolities. As long as basic hygiene is being met, then I'm happy.
Oh, but you're missing out on something so fun. I mean, it's not like you need it, of course. You've got beautiful bone structure, lovely hair, long legs, but aren't you interested in trying something new?
Well, thank you. I suppose I do find it all somewhat intriguing. But my time is precious to me, and my focus is on knighthood. Taking time to paint my face simply isn't a top priority.
Sure, but imagine if you could combine the two and become the most fabulous knight ever. Okay, maybe I'm taking it too far. I know knights don't necessarily need a ton of makeup or things like that for the job. I'm just saying, I really think you'd enjoy it if you opened your mind to it. All I'm talking about is a light touch. I can see it now. Your gorgeous face done up with a delicate application of makeup. The fabulous knight who everyone looks up to and wants to be.
Well, maybe? I guess. That does sound mostly harmless.
Hooray! Okay, we don't have a moment to lose. Here, take this makeup kit, play around with the colors, and see what speaks to you.
Now, wait just a...
I actually got that little kit as a gift the other day, and I wasn't sure what to do with it because I already have that one. It's a limited palette, but I think it fits the look you're going for perfectly.
I actually never agreed to start putting that stuff on my face, Annette.
What? Oh. Well then, I guess this whole kit will have to go to waste. I'll just throw it away like the garbage it is.
You're throwing it away? I can't just stand by and let something go to waste. Okay. All right. Thank you.